Mother Nature, a captivating aspect of life. Though beautiful, at times she can be devastating. Unfortunately, in 1900, the island of Galveston met her wrath. According to Mary G. Ramos of the Texas Almanac, the Galveston hurricane killed at least 6,000 people and left 3,600 homeless, 3,600 families homeless, with winds of up to 145 miles an hour and a storm surge in excess of 15 feet. This storm was one of the deadliest and most powerful storms in U.S. history. Today we will discuss the 1900 storm and in depth and review the magnitude of its aftermath, which is still felt today. The year was 1900. As Congressman Ted Poe's website states, Galveston was the showplace of the Gulf of Mexico and referred to by many as the Jewel of Texas. Close to 40,000 residents lived in the area at the time. A far cry from the elevated city that you are accustomed to seeing now. In 1900, Galveston Island was a very low-lying area, barely 6 feet above sea level. Its prosperous financial history and resilience to previous hurricanes created a sense of complacency, one that proved to be fatal. Galveston News reported on September 4th, 1900, that the Galveston Weather Station received its first notice that a tropical storm was developing north of Cuba. The station's meteorologist, Isaac M. Klein, was notified of the storm's path, but didn't notice any change in sea patterns. The Texas Almanac also mentioned that this telegraphic communication between Klein and other coastal weather stations abruptly ended from Wednesday, September 5th to Saturday, September 8th, leaving the storm's path undetermined. As Isaac M. Klein recalled in the book titled The Great Galveston Hurricane of 1900, on Saturday this morning the rain clouds were building up and the sea wind grew much stronger. He noticed that tide was a lot higher than usual. As the city began experiencing flooding, Klein hoisted hurricane warning flags. Unalarmed and arrogant, the residents ignored the warnings and proceeded about their day. At this point, it was too late. At approximately 5:15 p.m., the city's anemometer blew away. Klein later estimated that the winds reached as high as 120 miles per hour. Buildings collapsed. Trees blew away horizontally. The damage was of catastrophic proportions. Another particular story from Poe's website that stood out to me was the one about the local charity orphanage. There, the nuns tied a rope around the waists of the children and unsuccessfully tried to lead them to higher ground. Of the 93 children and 10 Catholic nuns, only 3 boys survived. This bravery and unconditional dedication led John Fink to write a poem titled For the Sisters of Charity Orphanage, destroyed in the 1900 Galveston hurricane, which in part says, "Your hands that hemmed a button sleeve or drew a bath for a weeping child now pass as waves within the earth." Galveston County newspaper reported that when the wind and rain stopped, the water receded, the horrific sight of bodies laying everywhere. Mass burning funerals were held for as many as 70 people daily, nearly for 5 months. Volunteers were forced with bayonets and had to drown in whiskey to dull the horror. The nightmare that the storm placed on the island led to a national preparedness system. The system led to newer and better methods of predicting hurricanes, and it also inspired innovative ways of protecting people from these deadly storms in the future. Just 2 years after that fateful afternoon, 17-foot seawalls were built and Galveston Island was lifted nearly 16 feet. Today, these walls are still landmarks of an event that happened over a century ago. In conclusion, the 1900 Galveston hurricane will forever be engraved in Texas history. As tragic as it was, it serves as an opportunity to learn. More than 100 years later, it remains an example of what can happen when hubris and arrogance get in the way of human safety.